Hey guys, JT Trousdale here with Jaguars. We're doing a good faith repair video for an Allstate claim number 075-432-7914. Today is July the 2nd. It is currently 80 degrees outside. We're here pretty early. We're trying to get this video done pretty quickly before it starts to get too hot. Once you start pushing that 90-degree range, it's a little too hot to be on the roof. So we want to make sure that we're doing this in the appropriate temperature range allowed by the manufacturer. Dusty, if you'll come up really quick, this is a shingle we're repairing. You can see the crease mark going all the way across the shingle. You can literally see how just barely touching it, the cradle just wants to come right off. It's a pretty old roof, but again, we want to do this because we want to make sure we're giving you guys the appropriate evidence that you need, the documentation that you need to make the decision that is obviously in the best interest of the customer, best interest of staying both ethically and morally guided. With that being said, we're going to be removing this shingle. I've got it boxed out. In the process of doing that, I'm going to have to lift up the shingles on the rows above it so that I can get to the nails for this shingle. This row of shingles, the nails that'll be in the nail strips up here will actually catch the top of this. That's why we have to lift the two rows. That usually equates to 4 different shingles that we're having to manipulate to get the one shingle out. What we're looking for here is to see that if in the process of doing that, it is in fact damaging the shingles above it. If it is, well then obviously to repair one shingle and damage 3 or 4, it's non-repairable. You can't do that. You can't repair one shingle and damage more than you repaired. So that's what we're looking to see here, is if that is in fact the case. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. I like to use this nice little bar here. When you set it flat on the roof, it sits right at about a 40-degree angle. That's what allows us what we need to be. 45 is what they give us to lift these shingles up. We try not to get them that high if we can avoid it. The other thing I like about it is it's got a really wide foot on there. There are some other roofing tools that has a foot that's about that wide. What I don't like about that is when you're coming through, because it's so much pressure on one little spot, it's very easy to punch through the shingle. I don't want to do that. I want to be as gentle as I can be with the shingle so that we don't give any room for somebody to say that we were being too rough with the shingle during the repair, and that's what in fact damaged it. So when we're lifting these up, we're going to be looking to see if we're creasing along the top side of these shingles, if we're creating granule loss in those areas. Also, I'm going to be looking underneath to see if we're seeing mat transfer. What mat transfer is the matting that this shingle is created from, and the tar strip, when they begin to get really old roofs, they're getting a little too brittle. When you go to get that shingle broken loose, the matting will actually rip and pull off the back and stay stuck to the tar strip. Obviously, that's not okay. That's a damaged shingle now. You've pulled matting loose from the backing. On top of that, now there is nothing that's adhering that shingle down because it's not reconnecting to that tar strip. So those are the things we're going to be looking for in today's video. With that said, we'll get started. Anytime I'm coming underneath these shingles, I like to keep my bar flat. I don't up and down it. I side to side it. So what I want to do is create that pressure to lift that shingle. If you pick up with it, sometimes you can push through that matting. We don't want to do that one, so we'll go ahead and get rolling here. All right, right there, Dusty, you ain't got to zoom in on it. That's that matting transfer I was talking about. Pulling through underneath, it's pulling the matting loose. That's something we'll lift up for. I'll show you guys a shot of that here in just a second. And the idea with the side-to-side motion is like a knife through butter, right? The tar strip, you want to do this in warmer weather preferably because it's gummy. Obviously it liquefies the hotter it gets. But once you get that separation between it and the shingle, you want to slide it like a knife through butter to make sure that you're separating the shingle from that tar strip. Now with that being said, I do want to take a peek. So you can see right here, you have to get close. See that? That's matting transfer to that tar strip. You can see where it pulled out from underneath it. I don't want to lift the shingle up too high and get above a 45, but you can see where it's starting to pull loose. That's no good. That's pretty textbook non-repairable, but we will continue through. Now, the other thing I like to do is look for a proper install. So we should have a nail here, nail here, nail here, and a nail here. we've got those, and we know whoever did this roof before done a good install, so let's check them. Nail, 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 and nail. So hey, whoever did this install before, good job, good install on this one. All right, with that being said, we'll get to start getting these taken out. Now what I do with these nails is I will slide, get underneath the shingle that I'm repairing, underneath that nail head. I put firm pressure pushing down once. Don't jackhammer it. When you do that, you're punching through that matting. We don't want to do that. We want to be nice and ease. When you get under the nail the correct way and you put nice firm pressure, you can feel the nail pulling up. You just want to get it up about a 1/4 inch, and then I'll come out from under, pat the matting down to expose the nail head, pull the nail out. That is the easiest, safest way to do this, that you're being the most gentle on the shingle. Just like that. And there you go. You guys can see that it's barely lifting that shingle up, but even in doing that, I'm already starting to get granule loss through here. That's not a good sign for repairability. Yeah, so actually, Dusty, come here real quick. You can see mat transfer all underneath this. So this shingle is already damaged. It's been ripped from the bottom side of it. That's not a good sign. A good pliable shingle, a good fresh shingle doesn't do that. That matting is still firm enough that it will separate from that tar strip. So we're already looking at a textbook non-repairable roof. And again, just in this little bit of lifting, you can already see your granules starting to come out at the top. I imagine once we lift these up, put the nails back in, that's when we'll start to see the creasing along with that matting transfer that's already happening now. And again, Dusty, if you look right here, matting transfer on this one. Right there, see it at the end of my bar. See the nails above the strip like it's supposed to be. So again, we're damaging the roof in the process of doing this. Matting transfer right here again. You can see it right here at the end of my bar. So again, textbook non-repairable roof. Can't be ripping that matting loose. It's pulling loose and the roof's too brittle to repair. So we got the nails out. Get these pushed to the side, guys. The last thing you ever want to do when sitting on the roof is drop your knee on a nail. It's usually when you end up recording bad language on the video. You don't want to do that. So now this should, in theory, pull out. Nice to pull out. All your nails are in the appropriate lines. Your nail strip like they're supposed to be. You can also see all the dirt and debris that's underneath there from these shingles lifting up. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started on this next install. Thank you, sir. Now, obviously, you're going to notice the color differentiation. Also, the age of this roof, the color name stayed the same, but obviously the build-up to the color changed a lot, which is not the end of the world because you can see how pliable this is. I mean, look how easy that bends. I mean, it bends, it flops, it's nice and easy, it rolls right. That's what a good repairable roof is supposed to look like, it's supposed to be. This, unfortunately, is not that. I want to make sure I get good and lined up well. Now, I want to get these nailed down like normal, but for my shingles that I did not remove, whenever I put the nails back in, I want to stay just to the left or the right of those holes. I don't want to go back into the same holes because you want that nail grabbing good wood so that it holds tight. That's what gives you a good repair. We want to make sure that when we're doing these, again, we're doing everything by the book, giving the customer the best chance at a successful repair if we can give one. Now, this is where I've got to lift that shingle to that 45, just to give myself room to nail that head flat. You want it perpendicular to the roof. You want that nail head to seat flat. You do not want to overdrive it and begin to pull into that matting. But even with doing that, Dusty, if you'll look right here, you can see you creasing right there. And guys, that's not me rubbing hard. If you've ever rubbed a good solid shingle, that stuff will tear your fingers to pieces. This is just lightly dusting it, but you can see the crease mark going all the way across it. And that was just lifting it the one time. All right. there. Same thing again here. You see that crease mark coming across. We already got matting transfer underneath, so you know that shingle's not going to seal back down like it needs to. And then, of course, with this, on this shingle specifically, with that fresh tar strip, now it's going to be grabbing the backside of that matting. It's already got a chunk ripped out of it, which means if wind gets underneath this again and lifts it, it's going to pull a hole into that shingle. That is not what you want. Well, if I can get one of my new ones, here we go. Same thing there. See the crease mark coming across. Get our last one in here. Now you'll notice too, I always lift this underneath kind of in the middle. I don't want to grab it from the top because that kind of rolls it a little more than necessary. If I can get it here, I can try to keep as little pressure here as possible. But once I get ready to nail, you'll notice I spread my fingers out. That is to keep good even pressure. I'm not hitting it at a singular point, but again, even with doing that, you can see your crease mark. So, textbook non-repairable. We're gonna finish putting these nails in, but I think this is more than enough for what any trained eye will be able to look and see to know that, hey, we're not gonna be able to repair this roof the right way. We need to look at replacing this entire roof. Two nails there because it's two different shingles. So you got one shingle, two shingle, three shingle, and then four shingle. So four shingles being damaged as we're trying to put this back on. That is not what we want to do, guys. Got everything on here. Now again, you see this is coming off. Dusty, if you get close, I mean, look, just, it's not lifting shingle, just barely moving it. I mean, they tell you if you take chalk and you run it down and you see that it pulls granule out, it's too brittle of a roof. So now we've got four damaged shingles. We've got crease marks going all across the top of them. We got matting that transferred underneath it. Textbook non-repairable roof. Guys, JT Trousdale again with Jagras. Claim number 075-432-7914, July 2nd, 80 degrees. Hopefully this is everything you guys need to make the appropriate decision for this customer and this claim. Appreciate you taking the time to watch with us. Thanks.